All right, I'm really excited to talk about Bot League coming soon. It will be a competition where the bots play against each other in a double round robin. The top four bots during the regular season will go to the playoffs. The bottom two will enter the relegation zone, where they may or may not be relegated. Um, I think it's fun to follow competitions, even if it's kind of computer automated stuff like, Football Manager. And part of that is it has the names of real players and real teams attached. But I think we can capture a little bit of that here. And in later seasons, we will have bots somewhat based on actual players that may be fun to root for or root against, as the case may be. That said, I really like our new interface. It's probably going to advance as time goes on. When the games happen, it will include showing the names of the players. So you'll look and you'll see, on the red side is Spade, the blue side is Joker, or whatever. We see the scores, we see the rule set. It will always be all rules. We see who is to move, and I'm just going to show the games. And I'm going to show the games. I'm not going to do any solver checks. I think it'll be fun to analyze these games with people, and I don't want to use that as a crutch or a definitive thing. I just want to talk about the games with people because I think they're going to be some interesting games. Um, what I'll do is I'll show moves. Moves will happen. We'll see the games. What I'll do for the videos is there will be no sound, no commentary, just like every 5 seconds. Actually, let's make the AI make a move, though this isn't one of the AIs that'll be playing. Every 5 seconds or so, there will be a move. Each video will be about 45 seconds for a game because there are 9 moves to a game. And you can pause and think about each position. You can see now it says red to move. And that's going to be it. We're going to sort of have a tournament to follow. The competitors are, and I'm going to say them in the order that entering the first season, how I thought they would do. This is not, in fact, the final order. I did not get this right. You might say I got it close. You might say I got it not so close, depending on your opinion of what counts as close. But entering, I would say the eighth seed is Bot Club Deuce, who many of you have played against. A complicated player who takes a lot of risks and is going to always have fun games. Our seventh seed is Bot Club Joker, and our sixth seed is Bot Club Spade. Those are pretty similar in strength. They tend to switch back and forth, which has a better record against the TTA community, but usually Spade is a little ahead. Joker gets more ties and Spade gets more decisive games, which is interesting because Spade is a somewhat more defensive player. Joker is a little more about setting up combos, and Spade is a little about more about playing big corners and defending them. Again, you're probably familiar with these two bots. Our fifth seed is Shadow Queen. And the Shadow bots haven't played as much, so you won't be as familiar with them. They, in general, have better kind of long term understandings of the games and heuristics. It's not that I gave them like superpowers of endgame calculation, they also just have deeper understandings of the game. They're a bit stronger. But Shadow Queen has what might be a drawback and what might be a strength. I thought probably a drawback of on their first turn of any game, if 5 is unoccupied, they must play N5. And it'll be interesting to see how well a strong player does when they're locked into this kind of thing, right? Because they should be better than Deuce, Spade, or Joker, but they do have this drawback. On the other hand, maybe 5 starters will prove really effective. We're going to see a real advocate of what I call the center attack, which is kind of you go in 5, and wherever they go, you play next to it. And Queen will do that in a whole lot of games, and that's going to be interesting to watch. That's the fifth seed. So third and fourth seeds, not sure which one's going to be better coming in. We have Shadow Joker and Shadow Spade. Joker and Spade are very similar in strength, and I expect Shadow Joker and Shadow Spade to be pretty similar in strength as well. Joker is always going to be the one that takes more risks and plays a little more complex. Spade will play a little more conventional. Not sure which one's going to pay off here. These are the third and fourth seeds in my estimation. They are very strong. The second seed coming in, I think I've named Professor. I've recently talked about my new skill ratings, and my skill ratings are done by a bot that has very good general understandings, but no specific preferences, which makes it good for evaluating games played by lots of different players. Because a bot that had a really determined, specific style is going to say, well, moves that don't fit my style aren't good. And I wanted one that could really evaluate a broad swath of games, and Professor was the best bot I came up with. So if Professor does badly, that will say my skill ratings are not nearly as good as I think they are. But I thought coming in that Professor, and I've simulated the first season. I thought coming in that Professor was gonna be really strong, and we'll see how strong it is. But Professor should be a player that can play lots of different styles at a really high level. And our top bot, the bot I worked the hardest on putting together, is Ace. Ace is a bot that has different plans depending on what turn it is. I put a bunch of effort into putting in a lot of games and setting up Ace to be fit to play really well in those specific games. Will it play well in a more broad general game setting? I don't know. But I put a bunch of work into making Ace what I hoped was a really powerful bot. Ace is also the only bot of these 8 that during the off season I may change, right? I may say, okay, I didn't calibrate that properly. I'm going to make adjustments. And as seasons go on, we're going to see more bots that can make adjustments over seasons. But those are our 8 competitors. This is how the games are going to look. I think it looks nice, looks much better than my normal interface. I'm going to eventually be using this interface for, I think, almost all my videos rather than the clunkier one you may have seen a lot of. That's a weird move. The AI this has on right now is kind of curious. Makes some really good moves and some really bad ones, and I can't tell why it's doing them. And it's kind of interesting to play against. Big combo at the end there. And yeah, so that's how it's gonna look, and I'm excited for this, and I hope there will be people that want to talk about the games with me. I'm gonna try to put up like a game a day or something like that. It'll take a couple months at that pace to go through a season because it's a whole bunch of games. I think it'll be fun to talk about, and I hope you'll join me on it.